I'm Mark Seifter.
And I'm Linda Zeiss Palmer.
And this is Arcane Mark. Hello
Hi,
and welcome
everybody.
to Build a Deity Workshop 5. The Build a Deity Workshop strikes back. So, we have built 4 seasonal deities. That is what the first 4 workshops have built.
And we made a pantheon for them. So
We
now
sure
that we've
did.
got a pantheon of 4 seasonal deities, I think it's time to break out of that mold and see what kinds of concepts folks will make today.
Yeah, the seasonal, by the time we were at the 4th season, that concept just won immediately in the vote. So,
Yes.
if you don't like seasonal deities, this is your first chance to put a concept in that has a good chance of winning.
All right.
So, put in concepts for deities here. So, Rico's put seasoning deity.
All right, I see seasoning deity. So we've got like a deity that's probably going to be about food or something like that.
Elftro says smarch, which I'm not sure what that is.
I don't know what that means either. Is that like the season of March?
Ictagon says a dragon magic deity. And Ular at the same time said draconic magic.
Alright, dragon magic.
Rico says that monosodium glutamate is a
domain. Entire domain.
Yeah.
Swamp
deity from a Tamanashi.
Is Smarch a suggestion? I really don't know what it means.
I don't understand. Oh, it's a Simpsons joke.
Oh, okay.
A manifestation of occult magic come alive. Oh, it's a misprinted calendar in Simpsons.
Oh, okay.
God of death for the weak.
Hold on. Manifestation of occult magic?
Yep. God of death for the weak or unprepared.
Magic come alive. God. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Did the sound go out? We'll find out on the next exciting question of whether the sound went out. It seems to be back. Yes. Okay. So, let's see if we have any other concepts. We have a really good number already, but there could still be more. It takes a little while to come up with concepts sometimes.
God for the...
Azarketi god.
Azarketi.
Anti-Algolthu.
Algolthu.
The silent god.
God of firefighters?
Yeah, and there's also the silent god / god of silence.
Firefighters. God of silence.
A deity for powerful creatures making themselves mortal and living among humanoids through some ritual.
God of the eternal ritual.
The Lux Eterna ritual.
God of the Lux Eterna ritual. Let's see. God for powerful creatures making themselves mortal and living among via ritual. That'll be
God of independent thought.
Wait, I'm not there yet. Waidan's nephew I saw. Is Waidan's nephew the next one after powerful creatures?
I think so. I thought that was just a reference to
right,
to one of the other ones, like being similar to Waidan.
Independent.
From Starfighter. Independent thought.
God of independent thought. God of even.
No, because it said go of independent thought. So.
Oh, God of even.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the turtle god of slowness.
Turtle god of slowness.
All right, let's put those in. How many is that?
11.
Vote for 2. Vote for your favorite 2. Just put 2 numbers in there that you're voting for. And we will see if it's obvious, and if it's not obvious, then we could do a runoff for the top ones. So just put in 2 numbers and vote for 2 of these 11 deities that you like. You could also vote for 1 if you only like 1.
Concept this time.
Yeah, that was good. It's because we talked about dragon magic at the beginning, and so we had 23 people.
And 7. I see 7 and 1.
Yep.
I see.
There's 3 and 6.
All right.
2 and 8.
3 and 6. 2 and 8.
1 and 11.
1 and 11.
1 and 7.
1 and 7.
4 and 10.
4 and 10.
2 and 8.
2 and 8.
2 and 9.
2 and 9.
3 and 11.
3 and 11.
And first time chatter votes for 1 and 11.
1 and 11.
Yes. So that's what we've got. Anything obvious here?
Well, there's 2 with 4 votes and 2 with 3 votes. 1, 2, 7, and 11 are our standouts.
Okay, let's get it down to just those 4 and make those be 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then have 1 vote.
All right, so
Sub only chat. Thanks, Elf.
I'm gonna change to letters in case there's any confusion. Otherwise, seasoning deity. And then 2 was meh. Scroll, please. Dragon
2
magic.
was dragon magic. Of course, that was one of the ones that got 4.
What was 7?
What was 7? 7 was god of firefighters.
God of firefighters, and 11.
Turtle god of slowness.
The turtle god of slowness. All right, we're gonna do another vote. A, B, C, or D.
Yes. Pick just one. The sunglasses is B for dragon magic.
B, dragon magic.
If you vote for sunglasses, we'll know you also are voting for B, and they're just being smart aleck. Ooh, a hype train is close after Rico cheered. Just
right,
one different person
D,
needs to do
C.
something, and then a hype train will happen.
All right, B, B, D, C. Two, which I'm guessing is B, because it was B also. 2, A, D, D. 2, A, D, D.
Then BD.
Then BD.
Yep.
All right, we got a drag. Yeah, so far B and D are tied.
Okay.
The dragon god of magic and slow turtle.
Oh hey, Tetsujin Oni subscribed at tier 2, and we now have a hype train.
Is that right? We have 1A, 1C, 4Bs, and 4D so far? Thanks for the sub and welcome.
I think that's correct, Linda.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. All right. Aw, tiny bronze dragon in your firefighting campaign. That's so cute.
That is cute.
All right.
So given that it's a tie...
It's a tie between slowness and dragon magic. Turtle of slowness and dragon magic.
That's right. So given that it's a tie it's a tie between turtle and dragon magic, is that right?
Isn't D turtle...
yes.
Yeah, turtle of slowness and dragon magic.
Okay, so I think that we are probably looking at something that is similar to,
Yes, dragon turtle god, exactly, Elf.
Yeah, exactly. A big dragon turtle. It's slow and patient, but it's wise and knows a lot of magic.
So we have a slow, patient dragon turtle. Turtle god who knows... A dragon turtle god of magic.
That's right.
Slow, anathema, cast haste. Alright.
So there we have it on the dragon magic.
Alrighty. That is a really awesome collision there.
Yup.
Build a... Alright, Arcane Mark Workshops. Excellent concept.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So, we now have the idea. So, at any time throughout this process, feel for this deity, and then we will potentially put those down. We know that it takes a while to come up with a good name, and sometimes you never can. So we're not going to like make everyone think of names in the middle of everything.
Let's see. I see. So there's Anathema of Cast Haste. Let's see. The focus on pondering and rumination of magical methods. I think that totally makes sense.
Yep.
Encourages followers to ponder, research, and ruminate on magical methods.
So let's take a look at what alignment we think this deity has. What alignment do people think? Their ideas like God of Slow and Steady and Keeper of the Hourglass Horde for titles that are in there. So put in what alignment you think it might be, and we'll see what people think the alignment of a patient. Because like Tetsujin Oni even asked, is this an angry impatient or like a sort of contentedly patient? Thanks to everyone for subscribing and continuing the hype trade, and to Elf for gifting 5 tier 1 subs.
So what alignments I just
It looks like Mike Kimmel is here in the chat and has received a tier 1 sub, and he'll be here for an interview
on the 29th. So if you've got
next
questions
week.
for him,
yep. That's right. So let's see. We had a lawful neutral suggestion in chat.
Right, let's see. I see lawful neutral, true neutral, lawful neutral, lawful neutral, neutral or lawful neutral, neutral, lawful neutral, lawful neutral, lawful neutral. Yeah, okay. We're lawful neutral. There's definitely critical mass toward lawful neutral.
Alright, we're lawful neutral.
What are the allowed follower alignments?
Yes. So we know that the deity themselves is lawful neutral. We probably want to allow neutral because so many people like neutral. But should we allow lawful good or lawful evil? For the people who are like, I will patiently get my revenge for lawful evil, and lawful good is like, I will patiently build things up and make them better for everyone. And then does it have any really weird alignments that you're like, why does it even allow this? So Ictagon says yes on the good and evil, and so does Rico. Philip Ben suggests something that we will need to get to later, so put it in the box, which is followers may include contemplative monks and fishermen.
Contemplative monks and fishermen.
Alright, a lot of people like lawful good, lawful neutral, lawful evil, and neutral.
I see,
but 2 people said maybe neutral good could be allowed as well. What do people think? I've seen 2 nominations for neutral good. State your opinions about neutral good, and we'll add it if enough people think that's a good idea. Meanwhile, do we heal, harm, or either one for our font? Fisher folk definitely need loads of patience. Like, that's just how you do stuff as a fisher.
Yep.
Alright, we've got like 3 people who said neutral good could fit, and no one said that it couldn't fit, so let's add it.
So if we have it, then I think that the font is probably heal, if neutral good is included.
So it sounds like we have heal, and then there's a healer slow with a heal. Wither King says harm.
Harm. Yeah, we have lawful neutral for the deity's alignment itself. We were talking about what would be allowed for followers.
Yes. The deity's definitely lawful neutral. But we're letting neutral good followers follow this deity. It's the deity is patient and a little more lax about who can follow them.
Yes.
So it looks like slightly more people are saying heal right now. So let's put heal for the moment. And we can come back to it later if there's a lot of different opinions about that. Okay, so this is a small thing, but for the Lost Omens Gods and Magic background, where you gain an ability score based on your deity, you need 2 ability scores that this deity thinks are the most important ability scores. So
there's a heal or harm vote as well.
So yeah, we have 3 that are for just heal, 1 that is for just harm, and 1 that's for heal or harm. So I'll take that into account. Right now, heals have it. But what 2 ability scores does this patient this patient dragon magical turtle thing.
I see.
So
Con
3
Wiz,
people
Con
said
Wiz,
Con Wiz
Con
at the
Wiz
same immediately, and then there was a Wiz int. So I think Con Wiz probably has it con for the patients of the body and wisdom for the patients
Plus,
of the
we probably
mind.
wanted to have 1 physical and 1 mental ability skill.
Yeah, I mean, it could have 2 mentals, but yeah. Alright, a lot of people
Very
like
cool.
Con Wiz. So, I mean, that just, it makes sense with the deity that we're coming up with.
For sure.
Alright, what is the deity's most favorite associated skill, which is also important for the Lost Omens Gods and Magic background. So, but that's also important for your cleric and your champion, because you grant that skill to cleric and champion. Remember, it can't be religion because of the fact that cleric and champion already grant religion. So, it can be something that is not religion. So let's see. There is a suggestion for primal, which is not a skill, which is probably nature, and then maybe arcana because it's a dragon turtle and it knows dragon magic. Then there is a suggestion for society or nature. Tetsuji Noni also says arcane seems key.
So I'm seeing arcana, nature, and arcana, society, and nature.
Yeah, I'm seeing only 1 for society with the /nature. I'm seeing a lot for arcana and a lot for nature.
So it seems like it's mostly arcana or nature. What are we at?
We're at 1,
how many natures, how many arcanas?
1, 2, 3, 4 arcanas and 1. If we count the society /nature, 2, 3. We have 4 for each. Here in terms of this dragon turtle magic. And then Raxaliquid says dragon magic would be arcane, though having also said nature before. So a lot of people are thinking, let's tease this out a little bit. So dragons are definitely an arcana topic. And dragon turtles are type dragon. So normally a dragon magic, a lot of dragons, their magic is arcane. Other than the primal dragons, which are the ones from the elemental planes, which have primal magic. And some of the other ones have divine, like gold and silver dragons. But dragons themselves are typically an arcane topic. That being said, this deity is a dragon turtle and is a deity. They're beyond that. They could be more interested in nature just because of their types of domains. So we should think about which one we want to pick. I believe that having it be arcana would be more different than the ones we've already made. Although we do have occultism in the sleeping winter deity, but I think we have nature on several of the other ones. But it's very close here. So, assuming that that Raxaliquid is ambivalent between the 2 of them, let's go in for and Philip Benz puts out, if the cosmic dragon turtle is arcane oriented, it's one amongst many dragons. If it's primal or nature, that it'll be more different like the primal dragons. So let's actually just have a vote of everyone now. People just put in their things. So vote 1 for arcana and 2 for nature. And just, even if you've already said arcana or nature.
While you're doing that, I'm putting in, mentioned turtle dragon trained at the Mwangi. So this is really cool because I'm thinking now about, like, the Magambia. Like, this being like a patron that you might possibly be able to get some training from in the Magambia, but, like, the amount of patience that it takes to receive such lessons is such that a lot of people can't necessarily prove themselves in the trials of patience.
Alright, I think nature has it. It's not necessarily true, but we do have 6 for nature, down 3 for arcana, and some more people who hadn't voted before have done it. So yeah, nature's got it.
But the trials of patience required.
So we've got nature for our deity skill. Alright, so what do we think our favored weapon is?
Test even.
It might actually be the same favored weapon as Somnus the Sleeping Worm, or something similar. Somnus the Sleeping Worm, who is Midsummer's Dream, the fire dragon who is always asleep, has shield spikes, and this, because it's a turtle, yeah, see, Kitsune picked the same thing of shield spikes. It could also be shield boss, if we think that the shell's not spiked. and shield boss is more of a just actual shield bashing. Um,
Gaff hook.
Gaff hook for like the fishing motif. But given it was a turtle, I figured that something shield related made sense because of the turtle shell. Shield boss, it'll be different. Elf likes one of those suggestions. Alright, a lot of people are saying shield boss.
Alright.
Tamanashi says that you hold a snapping turtle as a weapon and then you just have it bite people. Alright, so let's go with shield boss.
I mean, that could definitely be
People
like
are saying shield boss greater than spikes.
Alright,
so we've got a shield boss. Alright, so I'm gonna skip the deity spells for the moment because it's a magic deity, so it probably has to have all of them, like Nethys. Let's talk about domains. We already had some great ideas for domains up at the top, I believe. Was it like people were talking about time and souls?
Yeah.
Now that we've chosen nature as the skill, does that change anything about what we think of what domains this deity is going to have as their deity domains? So the list of domains that you could pick is generally on Archives of Nethys. There's a lot of possibilities: air, ambition, change, cities, cold, confidence, creation, darkness, death, decay, delirium, destruction, dreams, dust, duty, earth, family, fate, fire, freedom, glyph, healing, indulgence, knowledge, lightning, luck, magic. Okay, that's probably in there.
I'm gonna go ahead and put magic
Might,
in there.
moon, nature, nightmares, pain, passion, perfection, plague, protection, repose, secrecy, sorrow, soul, star, sun, swarm, time, travel, trickery, truth, tyranny, undeath, vigil, void, water, wealth, wormkin, and zeal. That's a lot.
That's a lot of domains.
So let's see what people are saying. Time, soul, magic, passion, sea, nature, magic, ambition, magic, protection, time.
I'm seeing a lot of time.
Oh, I'm also seeing protection as a possibility because of the turtle.
Going to remove,
knowledge, magic, nature, protection.
I'm going to remove not doing haste from the anathema because if we're going to start getting into time magic stuff, then I think that you can get.
You can still have time as a domain and still have going faster being anathema. It'll be interesting because for the third level spell we pick slow and not haste, right?
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Cast haste, rest important decisions.
You could definitely do that.
Yes. Okay. So I know we definitely have magic and time in here.
Yes, that's right.
I also saw multiple votes for protection.
That makes sense. I'm going to look something up real fast on a product page. Linda, could you look at what's there for the moment?
Yes.
All right. Great.
I saw multiple votes for protection and soul.
To represent the contemplative side is the soul there. I think that, Wither King and Philip Benz are the ones who were talking about soul.
Mm-hmm.
Delay, consequence, and stasis are the domain abilities of time, which are both slower and not faster.
That makes perfect sense.
Alright. So, how many do we have here?
Let's see.
How many possibilities? Because we can make some of them alternates.
Time, soul, passion, sea, nature, magic. I'm just gonna take magic off because we know magic and time. Magic and time we know are in there at this point. Soul, passion, sea, nature, ambition. Soul. Protection, knowledge, nature, protection. It's a little hard to read this here. Protection, repose, nature.
And it is true that no one mentioned the water domain. That's true.
There was one mention of sea.
Which is not a domain, but water. Okay, so there's like 8 other ones than that. So we can have a couple of alternates.
So magic, protection, time were the one. Magic, protection, time, and soul were the multiply mentioned ones.
Okay. So in that case, would nature and
Right, nature got in multiple mention too. So magic, protection, and then
did nature get mentioned more or less than
It's
protection?
a little hard to tell if I don't write them.
Yeah, you're
That's
right.
why I do the numbers, because then I can record them faster.
That's
as I'm
fair.
reading through things and it's scrolling and so on.
That's fair. Also, it looks like one of the soul mentions is from the same person who did the other. Because there were 3, but it was 2 people. Nature was in there. It looks like twice, but from the same.
Mm-hmm.
And protection was in there. So let's do protections, time, protection, magic, and soul, but with
alternates of nature
and one other.
Maybe like water.
Yeah, water, because it's a watery dragon turtle.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Great. Yeah,
Okay.
and there's also a multiple of both of those. So that's perfect.
Sounds good. All right, we have that.
We have the domains, and including the alternate domains.
Mm-hmm.
And
sacred animal is gonna be a turtle.
Yeah, sacred animal is obviously a turtle. We don't even need that.
Okay. Turtle.
What about sacred colors? What colors are sacred to our dragon god of dragon turtle god of magic? A taper is the sacred one of that other sleeping dragon. Aquamarine says Kitsune Warlock. They can often have like a couple of sacred colors. Azure Lapis. Mud Brown. So some kind of a blue and a brown. And a green is in there. Moss Green. So blue, brown, and green. See, oh, there's an orange. There's 1 brown, 1 orange, 2 for green, 2 for blue.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly. Aquamarine is not exactly a blue, but I'm gonna glom them together. Lapis Lazuli because it's valuable. Yeah, that's with Azure Lapis. Same vote. So, I guess let's do blue and green.
Yeah.
For sacred colors. All right. So we have an anathema, which is which is cast haste magic, and there's probably another one that's like
I was thinking like
jumping the gun.
Yeah, rushing important decisions.
Yep.
/ jumping the gun.
Leaping to conclusions.
Yeah, leaping to conclusions is a good one. So that's what you're not supposed to do. What kind of edicts are you actually supposed to do?
Well, the sleeping worm of winter of summer says slow down and appreciate the season for his edict. Mm-hmm. And this dragon turtle probably wants people
anathema, running to meet your destiny.
Mm-hmm. There was another potential anathema of acting on instinct, which is they're all good and they're all in the similar vein.
Yeah.
What about an edict? An edict is like think things through before acting, like kind of the opposite of the anathema on that front. There's one that I like.
Oh, here's like slowly build communities.
There's one that I like from a
meditate.
From an unpublished Paladin's Code of Mag the 3, the eldest that I wrote, which is like this deity probably likes too, which is when there seem to be only 2 paths, and those paths are both lead to failure, then find a third path. You know, something like that. It's like think things through until you find a solution that is the best solution.
Think twice, then think again.
Yeah, that's a similar one too.
Like, don't really feel anything about necessarily associated with communities with this. Maybe it's less about like the fact that it's a community. It's like whatever you build it like whatever you build.
Think first, then act, or like think, or even think twice, then think again. Like so, build things and you plan them out. So you don't want to just have a chaotic city plan. If you built a city, you would always think about it first and structure things. Oh, slow and steady wins the race.
I think that's probably a say.
And then the followers had a giant holy war about whether the spell Tortoise and Hare was anathema or not. And they're like, but it has tortoise in it, and the tortoise won in the story. It's like, yes, but the hair part of it means someone gets hasted, so it's anathema. So these are some very good edicts. Another one that we can think about, and we'll keep going just like with the name, is think about like aphorisms or sayings that the deity might have, and just put them anytime. But I'm not going to put people on the spot to come up with a good, wise saying, like, instantly. So the next thing we're going to do is types of worshippers. We already had idea of, like, fishers and, it was fishers and contemplative monks. Philip Ben says, Splinter Faith of the spell Tortoise and Hare. It's anathema. I agree with the people who say it's anathema. Because it hastes one of the targets, even though it slows the other ones. Civil engineers.
Oh yeah, followers.
For Tetsuji. Yeah, we're doing followers right now. And so those are some good ones for worshippers. Are there any kind of servitor creatures that are like a weird kind of creature that serves this deity? Like, for instance, the Sleeping Dragon of Summer had Baku Dream Dragons and Dreamweaver spiders. Oh, investors. Long-term investors for worshippers. And time mages for worshippers.
So maybe plan before you build and cultivate what you create would be sort of a way to express that idea that...
Yep. Also, slow and steady wins the race can be an aphorism.
It's there already.
Oh, okay. Philip Ben says, the snapping turtle waits in the mud for the right moment and then strikes the impertinent. Dragon turtles for an easy win on servitor creatures, and kappa. Yeah, multiple people were saying kappa for great. Those are great for servitors. What is the herald of this deity? Is it like some kind of unique dragon turtle herald that is super high level? What do people think? Well, Tetsuji Noni says maybe it's a unique kappa.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, like a really wide kappa. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say
maybe it's
kappa.
like a unique kappa seer.
Yeah, a unique kappa seer.
I like that. All right. And are there any holidays? So we're on aphorisms and holidays, and then we're circling back to deity spells.
So I feel like when it comes to holidays, if you had a celebration of this deity, it's probably not one day long.
That's true. And you probably plan it in advance.
And you probably plan it far in advance.
Like, I feel like that this deity may celebrate, like, the harvest because of the fact that you had to, even though we have a harvest deity for that time of year, but they might also have a celebration of the harvest, not because there's food now, but more of like, we planned this all the time when we reaped, we're reaping now what we sowed all the time in the past. And so we were patient. And look at what we got for that. I wish
probably like dedication of prominent buildings or institutions.
So there's a I wish to wag my tail in the mud saying for when a worshiper wants to be left alone. That is an aphorism that sounds similar to something I've heard of from Taoism. And you can see that Warlock says, what Philip Ben says, maybe harvesting something that takes a really long time.
Celebrated the completion of civic work, particularly multi-year new generation.
Or also when you finish like a really long vintage or something of like an alcohol that takes a really long time to be ready.
Dedication of prominent buildings, institutions, or other multi-year creations.
Perfect. Alright, let's go to those spells now. So we picked a magic deity, which we made things absolutely the hardest possible for ourselves, because magic deities tend to have spells at every spell level.
Yes.
So level 3 is slow. Unless there was a spell at level 3 that was like Turtle Dragon the Slow, then we're going to pick slow. So we've got slow, and that's level 3. And let's take a look at some other spells. They need to. It's very important. They need to not be on the divine list, which is a royal pain. But that is because you'll often say something, and when you have to get spells for all 9 levels that fit a theme, and they can't be on the divine list, you're like playing some kind of a game against yourself, and the only way to win is by not making a magic deity. So let's see. Let's find a first level spell. True Strike. I'm looking at things. Sleep. Let's see. And let me know if someone else comes up with a real winner on these. I'm looking through a bunch of first level spells here.
Sanctuary is on the divine list.
It's on the divine list, unfortunately. Mage armor, because it's a turtle shell.
Is it, let's see. Mud Pit? Sanctuary is on the divine list, so we can't pick anything that's already on the divine list.
We could do Mud Pit. We can't do Sanctuary. Let's see. Floating Disc, because it's like a turtle.
I do like Mud Pit, because it
gets them in the mud.
It creates difficult terrain, so it uses mud to slow them down.
Okay. Shall we do Mud Pit? Also, Endure. Endure is actually pretty good, too.
Okay, what's Endure?
It's from Gods and Magic. It's specifically not on the divine list, so you can pick it. It gives you a very large amount of temporary hit points, but only for 1 round for a very small number of actions.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
It looks like people are, slightly more people are saying Mud Pit. So let's do Mud Pit. Also, Control Water for 5th.
Sounds good.
Is a solid one. Alright, so let's go into second. So let's see what we've got here.
So second level.
Yes. We've got,
second level non-divine spells.
Endure Elements.
Is that not?
I don't think it's divine. I usually have a good sense about whether something's going to be divine or not.
It is divine.
Oh, it is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was wrong about that. Haha. I thought it was Arcane and Primal.
It's divine, arcane, and primal.
Whoops. Alright. Persistent Servant, because it's a long term.
That was, Rexa just suggested Persistent Servant.
Aha. And then Resist Energy is everybody.
It's everybody, including divine. So
you can't pick it. There's Water Walk. Or Water Breathing. Water Breathing's actually not bad. But it's divine! No! It says Water Walk.
Someone suggested Silence. You can't pick
so
Silence.
So is Water Walk
divine.
because of Jesus walking on water.
Yep.
Curse you for being divine, all of these spells. So I feel like the only one that, when I just went through here, that wasn't already divine, was probably Persistent Servant.
So, like, it's Persistent Servant then?
And yeah, I mean, I guess so.
The other suggestion was Arcane Lock.
Which is just called Lock, I think, and is a first level spell.
Oh, that's first level. Okay, so we can't pick it a second. So let's do Persistent Servant.
Yes. Alright, so we know Slow is at third. Alright, so fourth, what have we got here? So...
fourth level spells.
So we could theoretically do, like, Chromatic Armor, but it's kind of a little bit colorful for us. We've got...
Coral Eruption is watery, at least.
It is, and it's kind of cool. It makes damaging areas of razor sharp coral. So that's kind of cool. We could do Reflective Scales, where you glow scaled armor that stores energy.
Oh, that's cool.
Or Resilient Sphere. There's actually some decent ones here compared to level 2 that aren't on the list for spell immunity, kind of in the idea of I'm patient and I have chosen just the right spell for a long-term immunity to. There's a fair number of good ones. Let's see what
see.
chat is
What is
saying.
chat saying?
Bandits doomed to screw over bandits who attack you. Clairvoyance. Rax Liquid still says tortoise and hare, even though it literally hates someone. It is a very, very thematic spell.
Spell immunity.
I mean, we could change the anathema to cast a spell that hastes, that speeds something out without causing a greater amount of slow. Because technically, tortoise and hare, if I recall correctly, slows the target that's slowed for longer than it hastes the target that's hasted. Tortoise and tortoise. That's just slow 6.
So, do we want to do that just to give it... I guess
There's some people who were convinced by pitches for spell immunity or reflective scales. So what do people think?
The one thing that bugs me a bit thematically about tortoise and hare is that the person that you're making more like the tortoise is your enemy.
That's true, and you're making your ally like the hare.
Yeah. If it was like tortoise and hare and like the hare had a debuff.
Oh, Tetsuji Nani says potentially
was
stone skin. Yeah, how could I have missed that on there? That's a good one too.
Oh yeah, stone skin.
Stone skin is right there near spell immunity and resilient sphere. So there's a lot of actually very good ones at this level. There's several for reflective scales. Let's do reflective scales.
That also feels more dragony to me.
All right, so 5th we had control water. So unless somebody has another pitch, we can go for control water.
Yeah, because we haven't had a water one yet, so that gives us that.
For 6th, the one to beat is cast into time. The one where you send someone through time, and they have to slowly go through time, but they come back at the end of the round, but they've gone through time for a while.
Another suggestion for 5th is inevitable disaster.
Oh, actually, that's a really good one too. That's the one where
divine. Quick divine check.
Inevitable disaster. It might be divine. I know it's occult. It wasn't on the list I was looking at because I was looking at arcane.
It's divine.
I thought it might be divine.
Alright, so it's definitely very thematic, but we can't pick it because
it's divine. Ha ha ha, divine, you rascal.
Alright.
Alright, but I'm pretty sure that cast into time is not divine. It is not divine. So I feel like cast into time is the one to beat for 6th.
Alright, do we have anything that people like better than cast into time for 6th?
Let's see. Maybe I will beat my own game here. I don't really see anything I like better than cast into time, unless someone else has one.
Alright,
for 7th, contingency.
Can anyone beat contingency? I was about to say that.
Yeah.
That's such a...
That's like...
planned in advance.
That's like, I had planned it for contingency in advance. Rex Liquid says Dragon Form, actually, is one that could potentially beat cast into time for 6th. That's a good point. So people decide whether you like Dragon Form or cast into time. I think contingency is just like so clear that
Dragon Form maybe I do, but it did say I do like cast into time. The same person suggested.
Yeah.
So, Time Beacon. What is
Time Bacon?
Time Bacon.
There is Time Beacon.
But isn't Time Bacon from it's from God? Yeah.
It's not. It's technically not uncommon. It's one that people have a lot of difficulty understanding what it's supposed to do, even though we spent a really long time trying to word it. But it is one where you create a beacon and then go back into time if things go wrong. It is a solid possibility compared to contingency. However, they both are really good for the deity. If no one else cares, I would suggest contingency because it's longer. And because Time Beacon is annoying to adjudicate. Despite our best efforts.
Dragon knows there's some really thematic spells on the divine list, but very... I mean, the thing is that you can't pick divine because they already have divine. It's what you're adding to the list that you couldn't already do.
It wouldn't do anything useful if they were on the divine list. It would just be a waste. Alright, what about 8th level spells? There aren't really a lot that are in this theme on 8th level. Like, I guess we can take your water with hard welting. But that's like, that's not super there.
Power word stun. Make
Oh,
them
power
wait up a
word.
minute.
Well, that's uncommon. We shouldn't
that's
put that
uncommon,
onto a
right,
deity
okay.
list. Their unrelenting observation, maybe. Prismatic wall to keep them away from you. Monstrosity form, so you can turn into a sea serpent, like sea serpent form only.
Maze.
Maze. Oh yeah, maze is just like go into this maze, for a while. Maze is pretty solid. That made more sense to me than the other things we were saying.
There was a suggestion too of Dream Council.
Dream Council for like talking to people through shared dreams.
Yeah, for like we're going to sit here for an hour and we're going to have a meeting and we're going to discuss.
I think because we have a sleeping dragon of dreams as one of the other deities in our pantheon that we shouldn't pick it, but it is a good decent option, but I feel like Maze traps them for a really long time and potentially if they get lost in it, so I like it a little bit more for now. But that was a good proposal.
Legit.
All right. Now the problem is there aren't a huge amount of ninth level spells.
Summon Draconic Legion.
Yeah, summon Draconic Legion. Yeah, okay. Let's summon Draconic Legion. I saw that there weren't many spells, but Draconic Legion is pretty good. Mind Blank is solid, but it's uncommon, so we can't pick it. Or, like, you're not supposed to pick uncommon spells on deity lists because GMs are supposed to have their own ability to allow or disallow uncommon spells.
Draconic Legion is an incarnate, so it is a very quick, like, come in and blast, but...
Yes. But...
It's also
come on, bring
Legion.
forth the Draconic Legion!
Yeah.
There we go.
We haven't had as much dragon theming in here, so...
Yes.
But with this, we've got across dragon and speed and turtle and time.
Yes.
Dragon and time and turtle.
We did it.
Planning
we did the hardest possible thing, a magic deity. We've got everything except a name. So, does anyone have, like, a name? We've got titles, but we don't have a name for this deity. Aha! Kitsune Warlock has a potential lesser intervention that's like once when you become slowed, it lowers your other condition values based on your slowed. Because a lot of those lesser blessings are like a one-time big good thing for you.
Values based on
your slow valued, and the deity usually picks
slowed value.
Presumably, those are usually like the deity usually picks a really dramatic time when you have a lot of other conditions.
So you're like, oh, you're doomed and like have all this other shit.
And it's like they're all cleared by the slow.
Name.
Tuatarak. Churchill. Are two ideas. All right. I feel like Winston Churchill does make Churchill seem a little earthy. And not in the sense of like mud earth, in the sense of like our earth.
Yes, that's true.
Be like if it was Washington.
Yeah.
I do like the reference to the comic, but so we can pencil in Tuatarak maybe for the name, and I think that will do it.
I'm gonna go. Thank you, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and post this on our workshops channel for everyone.
Magic deities take longer, but we did it. So, let's say goodbye to YouTube and then do our outro. Bye, YouTube. See you next time.